Hey guys, welcome to my channel. It is Mayarisim here, and today I'll be showing you how to build this basic and simple home build. So I'm currently demolishing this lot on Streamlit Single. It is 20 by 15 and it's based in Willow Creek World. Now don't come for me, but Willow Creek is one of my favorites, plus it's included in the base game, so where can you go wrong with that? If you do want to download this lot, I have an unfurnished version in my gallery. I've just put it in the right corner there. You can follow me or check out my other builds, leave some comments. I'll definitely get back to you. Anyway, we'll get right into this build. So I am just going to do a very small home. This would probably be about a studio or a one single bedroom, probably perfect for single sims or couples. You could push it to be a small family, but it might feel a little bit crowded. I'm aiming for this U shape as this will be my entryway. I will be adding stairs to it a bit later, but I'm just going to fix it up here a bit because I'm an indecisive girly. And I don't know about you guys, but it takes me hours, lots of hours just to build a simple lot just like this because of how indecisive I am. Are you guys like that? Because I could spend hours doing the smallest build and it would take me 20 years just because I am so indecisive. I can't make a decision. I constantly change my mind. I always think this is not good enough or this is looking weird. It's a lot of pressure, but at the same time it's so rewarding when you get to the end result and it actually looks pretty cute. Anyway, I've just finished building the base of this home. I am gonna put flooring on the top because I always make this mistake where I forget to put a ceiling. Like back in the day, it used to do it by itself, or am I just doing something wrong? I've been playing Sims since I was 6 years old. I am 26. So I've been playing this for 20 years and I'm still learning new things about Sims every single day of my life. So currently I am putting on the roofing, and I don't know about you guys, but I absolutely hate H-A-T-E roofs. I despise them, and the only reason I despise them is because I'm really bad at them. I struggle to this day to make a good roof, so I try to keep it simple and basic because every time I make a roof it just doesn't work out for me. So I'm putting just 3 different roofing types on this lot so it still looks good and doesn't look ridiculous. Do you guys remember the first time you ever built a Sims home? Because I do. I remember it being 2-story, white walls, 20,000 windows and one massive roof. It looked absolutely horrific. Like a bomb shelter that should have been hidden away a very long time ago, but I was proud of it. I thought it was the greatest gift on earth, that my Sims should appreciate my master architectural skills. But I just honestly reminisce about those days because the first time I ever got Sims 1 was May 2000. So I was 6, it was for my birthday, and it was from my wonderful father. Rest in peace, Dad, I love you. Because of you, I am now absolutely obsessed and in debt. I just remember him constantly buying me Sims and I was just such a happy child. Like I was so thankful and grateful as it was my escape from the reality of life, kind of, because I had to kind of grow up pretty quickly and playing Sims made me feel like a kid again. So I remember the packs that I got. The first one I ever got was Making Magic, and I tell you what, that was one of the best packs. And then I got Superstar and Unleashed and Hot Date and Vacation. Oh, it was a time. It was a different time, and it was just, you look back on these graphics and think absolutely horrible. It looks so bad, but it's just so nostalgic. And I just remember my mum absolutely hating my dad because she thought this game was just too mature for me, but I used to fight the fact that on Making Magic it said 7 years plus, so once I turned 7 she really couldn't say much about it. So I've just finished the windows and I've just done the door here. took me like 20 goes for this door, and this is what I mean by I'm so indecisive. I had to cut this video because if I didn't, we would have spent an hour just looking at doors and windows especially, because I had this idea and nothing was working for me. And I swear there was a window that I really wanted, but I couldn't find it. And I thought, am I going crazy? Am I thinking that something's there that is there or isn't there? Like, it was just messing with my mind. It was like 2 a.m. in the morning when I was filming this, so I was half asleep. And as I mentioned earlier about the U shape that I created, this is the reason why. Because I wanted to create more of a private entryway, and also the 2 side bits I am going to add plants to, because plants make everything so much better. Honestly, I find myself sometimes overdoing the plants. And you think, how's that even possible? Trust me, I can do that. You can check out some of my builds and you would probably sit there thinking that is too many plants for one lot. But anyway, I'm actually building a veranda on the side because we don't want this house to look too sad at the front. We want to make it look more realistic. Unfortunately, when you build verandas, you have to pull out the roofs. And again, I hate roofs, so me having to fiddle with the roof, because when I add this pole on the side, it looks off. So I will have to mess with the roof a bit, which I had to cut again because it just took me way too much time for such a simple task. So here's the finished look. I added a fence, the pole, and it kind of completes the house. It makes it look 1,000 times better. And again, with my indecisiveness, I had to change the bottom of the house because it just didn't look right. The white just didn't work, and I wanted to add pops of shades of black because it brings out the white. I'm just adding the rest of the windows. I have a habit of doing too many sometimes, or not doing enough, but I want this home to have natural light. Have natural light. Oh, here we go again. I'm playing with the roof. I forgot about this part, but this is reality. I'm sorry, but the amount of sim videos I watch and everything's perfect, it's done, perfected every single time, when in the real world, for most sim players, especially me, that never happens. I have to keep going back and forth, editing, changing things. I'm not going to cut out every single piece because I want you guys to know that I am just a regular person who makes mistakes, who struggles sometimes. Even though I can create nice builds, it takes time and effort. You can never get anything right on the first go unless you excessively plan or do the same build over and over again. So once you do it once, it's perfect. I can't do that. I cannot do that, because even if I do the same build twice, I will somehow look at it and go, but I can change this. For example, here I am trying to figure out if I want to do tiling or if I want to use the sprays, like the ground sprays, as if you haven't noticed, which took me a little while to notice, that there's new sprays, there's new tiling. I kind of like it and I may use it in the future. I think I'm pretty sure I used it in this build, so we'll see a bit later if I decided to or not. But I swear I'm going crazy because I genuinely think there was a lot more flooring than there is. Compared to Sims 1, 2 and 3, there's not much variety in Sims 4. Like, you have to buy multiple packs just to unlock a few nice ones, but even then I find myself just thinking, this is not what I'm envisioning when I'm building a home. Like, this is not the type of flooring that I would use. I'm the type of simmer who does not really use CC. I prefer not to. I just think it doesn't match what I'm going for in a way. Like, some things are just way too realistic for my liking. And you know, it's just some people prefer no CC, and I like other people being able to download my builds, so that's the main purpose of why I don't like using it. So here's actually a hack. Sorry, I missed it, but you add these 2 cute little plants, you upsize them, and then I added 2 little ferns to the top. So look at it. It looks absolutely amazing. Not just tooting my own horn here, but I think I've done pretty well with this little hack. These plants are one of my favorites. I think they just make every garden look absolutely spectacular. I love plants. My favorite plant, I know she's an easy and dramatic plant, but is a peace lily, Lilies were always my favorite, but peace lilies are something else because they tell you when they want to be watered, and I love that. I love a plant that tells you what to do, and I'm definitely gonna end up as one of those crazy plant ladies because once me and my husband buys a house, it is gonna be filled with them, hundreds of them. Because I did that in my small apartment, and he thought I was going insane when I spent like $400 just on plants. But you know what? We like a garden. We like a garden mummy, and that is what I will be. That's what I strive to be in the future, and I hope that I'm able to complete that aspiration. So the one thing I always add to my gardens are these rocks. I think they always elevate the look of a garden. You can always use them as garden beds, you can use them as pathways or even around ponds. I just think there's so much what you can do with these rocks. And the fact that Sims are adding so many different types now, like it's not really that many, but it's a lot more than what we're used to. Again, I love these ferns. I think the more natural, the better. It matches the vibe of the house. And we're gonna add more hosta plants. Fun fact, they're actually plantain lilies. So that's probably why I love these plants. I just think the cute little different shades and variety they come in can always make a garden look fantastic. So I think this area is done for now. I think it turned out pretty well. What do you guys think? So of course we're gonna add some fencing because a house without a fence is a house that's easily broken into. Talking about breaking into, do you miss the burglars? I miss them. I miss having that eerie music that used to scare me and someone was breaking in. Oh, why didn't they not add these things to Sims 4? Me personally, you just have to remake Sims 2 and add a bit of features from Sims 3 and you've got a perfect game. Why couldn't they do that? Why couldn't they just add these little features? Watch, in about a year's time they're going to add a pack and it's going to be like a burglars pack or crime pack. It's just so depressing that they couldn't just add these little things that just made Sims 2 such an iconic game. While we're talking about security, I'm going to add a gate here to kind of make it look like a driveway, like an outdoor driveway. Growing up here in Australia, I don't know about certain areas, but where I grew up, there were so many houses like this. There was no garage. You just had a double driveway with a gate, and that was your security. So I'm adding this gate from Horse Ranch because I think it looks perfect. It's so similar to some of the gates or driveway gates that we have here in Australia. And of course making it longer, double in length, as you want to fit 2 cars here. I'm also going to add a garden to the back. So I'm just going to stop the driveway to the back of the house. So this is what it looks like at the moment. It's looking pretty well, but we've got to add details to this build because without details, it just doesn't look fantastic. Like it looks good, but it's not fantastic. So for the time being, I think I'm going to focus on the backyard a little bit. I want to add a door, a back door. I want to add some stairs, some plants, maybe a little courtyard. But again, I'm looking through 1,000 doors trying to figure out which one I prefer, which one looks great with the house. I also want to make it look elegant, basic but elegant, because we want a nice house. We want a nice cheap house. We don't want it to look too run down. So I'm added plants here, but I think it just looks weird under the step. I thought, oh, give it that vibe of overgrowing on the step, but also it just looks funny that way. So we're not going to do that. I'm definitely going to change that a bit later. Just trying to figure out what to put around these areas to make it look better. When it comes to the gardens, I definitely spend majority of my time on them because I want them to look pretty. I don't want them to look like there's too much going on, especially when you've got smaller builds. Like I said, I could put 1,000 plants down and be satisfied, but people who want to play these games don't want to see 20 million plants in their backyard or not have access to things around their backyard. So I'm just adding some more details to this area. Again, with the stones and the rocks, I think it makes the garden look so much more realistic. It's more natural. Again, using the ferns, and I'm using these little flowers from Rose Garden, Lovely Gardens. Sorry, Romantic Gardens. That's the stuff pack. I am so bad at remembering stuff packs. There's just too much to go off. It's hard to remember. So I have to look at the little icons in the corner and go, okay, now I know where it's from. But this is the 3 main plants that I'll be using. The little yellow flowers, the ferns, the hedges especially. I think it's just such an easy thing to put down without having worrying about, I have to put 100 plants down to make this look nice. No, just size down the hedges and you've got like a nice little hedge bed there. I don't know what you call it. I'm not very good at describing things completely. So I'm just adding vehicles to my driveway to give it that home feel, like someone lives there. If you want these cars, I've noticed in a lot of videos where people ask, like, where do you get these cars? How do you unlock these objects? There are a few cheats, like in-game cheats that you can write down in your cheats box. Obviously put testing cheats on. So you want to put testing cheats true, and then after that you can add these 3 cheats, which is BP, ignore gameplay, unlocks entitlements. That is going to unlock all the work objects that if you're in gameplay and not in build mode that are locked, you can have access to. And then also if you put in BB show live edit objects or BB show hidden objects, I believe, unlocking those items definitely adds a lot more variety when it comes to putting items down on your lot. I will happily make another video soon showing you what is available, what you can add, what can actually make your builds look so much better using these items. But for the time being, I've got to focus on this build that we're building. So when I put trees down, I always add little sprays of brown and plants and rocks. I want my trees to look like they exist in nature, not just sitting there randomly on a ground patch, since that's not really realistic here. Plus, the extra details, again, makes your lot look so much better than it should. Like, this is basic. This is easy to do. It takes, a little bit more time, but it makes your lots look fantastic. It's all about the little details. You don't have to do too much, because sometimes overdoing it can make it look worse, I would say. Don't trust my opinion, okay? Because it takes me 1,000 tries before I can say, oh, I like what I've done here. So I believe I'm going to add more details to the front of this house. So earlier on, did I mention it? I always forget what I talk about. But Sims added these new tiling sprays, and I think it's such a great addition to the base game. Because sometimes when we do tiling, it looks off or it doesn't look right. I think this spray makes this lot look so much better. And I'm sitting there figuring out what I need to do with it, because I don't know if I want to put seats there. I don't know if I want to leave it empty or add gardens or put my bins there. But at the moment, I'm just going to put some hedges, because hedges look so much better. Plus, I like to close it off so it looks like it was meant to be designed like that, because most housing will have nice little plants. It'll cut off certain parts of the house, as I don't want to have it as an open space. I want to secure it. And again, I'm just sitting there being indecisive, wanting to know, where do I put my bins? So I've decided to put my bins on this side, as I don't want it to be the first thing you see when you open my lot. I know a lot of times when you're building, you want the bins to be at the front. It's still at the front, it's just off to the side. I usually like to build bin areas, but because this lot is so tiny, I don't want to add too much to it. I've added my mailbox. It's still functional. You can put it in between plants. It's not going to affect it. Also going to add some extra hedging to close off the driveway, so it looks complete. Like, look at this. Completed. Like, the backyard's sad at the moment, but we'll get there. We'll fix the backyard, don't worry. As this backyard's quite tiny, it's going to end up looking more like a courtyard, but I don't want too much backyard going on. I want it to be a nice little space that you can sit down, have a coffee, have a chat, be your lovey-dovey, nice, enjoying nature situation. But I thought this black would work, and then I'm looking at it. Like, this black looks horrible for the backyard. This is more of a front yard thing. This is not something I'm going to put in my backyard. I'm going to have to change this because it's not working. I want it to be more natural. I want something more natural, earthy feel for the courtyard. So I love using the sprays for this reason, as you can maneuver a courtyard around. Unlike with the tiles, like you have to place them down, it's all square or diagonal looking. That's not what I want. I want it to be more natural looking. So I'm just going to round it off here, and I'm going to add some browns to the plants. Again, it's more realistic that way. And I'm just going to continue with this garden because we want a pretty garden. I do add extra details to the brown, so it's not just one color all the time. I want to add some gravel. Sometimes I add a darker brown or even some pebbles, so it looks more like a garden bed. And here we're going to go through 1,000 plants, even though I'm going to use the exact same ones that I've used over and over again on this lot. So I'm going to give you guys some time to listen to music as I take a little break for a minute, and hopefully you enjoy watching this garden be built. So guys, I am going to show you how I made the front area with this stone bench. So this is from Spa Day. I've just placed it sort of in between the hedge and the walls, so it makes it look like it's attached to the house. And then I also added garden pots because I want plants. Again, I'm a plant fiend. I love plants. I think they're the greatest thing in Sims. So what I did is I downsized these plants and then I raised them, because if you make them too big, it's going to look funny and you don't want it to look out of place. You want to make it look like it's an actual object in The Sims, because I've seen this design in real life. So what I did was add plants. Again, I downsized and raised them. At first I wanted the yellow beds, but I believe I changed them in the future because I was kind of trying to match the backyard, but because of the ferns being a little bit higher and bigger, it looked out of place. But again, you can just see here clearly that I've raised them, because if you don't raise them, it's gonna look a bit glitchy and it's gonna go through the bench, and you don't want that. You don't want that look, especially because the bench is already going to be a bit glitchy since it's next to each other. So this will be the final look. I did change the plants because I want it to be more leveled. It looks better when the plants are kind of equal in height. Here are my finishing touches. This video is about to end soon. I'm just adding some backyard essentials like chairs, barbecue table, extra little pot plant, as I want this backyard to be used. And also don't forget outdoor lights, guys. I always make this mistake and forget my outdoor lights because at nighttime it's just way too dark outside. So here we are, just finishing everything up. Like I said, adding all these little details and extra furnitures definitely makes your lots feel more completed. And we're finishing up now, so stay tuned for the end results. And this is the final results to a basic and simple home build. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you have a wonderful day. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel and follow me on Instagram at maari.sims. See you guys later.